Hi, Rishi.
Hi.
I see that you're here with your friend. Hi, Bindhu.
Hi, Padmaja.
So, what is it that we're talking today?
So, we wanted to talk to you about friendships and how it works.
Okay. What about friendships?
Well, early on in life, when we're kids, friends used to come very easily and they used to really stick for a long period of time. And suddenly, when you're going to a new school or something like that, those friends who we made early on in life, they start to drift apart and they eventually they just disappear out of nowhere. Like, why does that happen?
That's the same question when you have. So, how did you make friends initially? Who were your first friends?
It was only with neighbors or kids who used to.
Yeah. So, eventually, initially when we start off, we actually make friends with those kids who were maybe around our house in the same apartment complex, in the same locality, or maybe, kids of your friends and family of your parents, and maybe their colleagues' kids. There's a certain geographical constraint. So typically, that's how those must be your first friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've-
So in a way, it's again not by choice, but by chance that you make friends initially. And when you grow up, who must be your next set? Maybe when you went into a play school or a daycare or, your first
Kindergarten.
initial kindergarten, your school. So those become your friends. And for suppose, your parents have moved to a new locality or, they've made new friends or, some other colleagues come in. So typically that's how your circle changes. As much as your first friends are so unforgettable and so valuable, it's but natural that life moves on. So that's how friends move on. Now when you come to school, what happens? Typically, how do you connect to people? What are the major things that you'd speak initially?
It's only because of, I don't know, what teachers you hate. What,
That's one thing. What teachers you hate, what you like, what you don't like. Maybe those cartoons that you all watch together. Whoever watches similar cartoons, you tend to form a group. And maybe some movies that you like. So, it is because of those classes that you go to or something like that where the purpose of how you meet these people is defined in one way or the other. And eventually, as you grow up, again, it's your likes and dislikes and everything. But over a period of time, yes, these kids, these friends drift apart. Why? Because as you're growing, your interests change. Everybody's growing, right? And it's not necessary that everybody grows in the same path. So that's how people come in, people go out. Now, that doesn't mean they value less or they forget you or you forget them. It's just about in a certain path of life that we have, are they walking on similar path or not?
okay, talking about values, Bindu, what is value of friendship to you?
there's someone that I can go to and connect, but which the stuff that I can share, which I cannot share with my family, or people that can connect with me better than at home. I think that is how I consider.
And that only happens because family comes by chance. And the friends are the people who you choose. And it's because those are the people that you can really count on and rely on to be there for you. And they eventually also start to drift apart for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I agree that family happens by chance and friends are something that you choose. But by what I just spoke initially, these friends are also happening because of a certain phase in life. So maybe out of 100 people, if I say, maybe these 10 are in your vicinity. Or maybe these 10 people go into the same school or same college or something like that. So somewhere there is a little bit of chance there also. But Do you really think that it's only friends who will be with you and not family when it's required?
Family's timeline, let's say, it usually starts very close, and over a period of time near teenage, they start to drift apart.
Who?
With family, because family is, they try and restrict you from things you really want to do, and that is when you start to drift from your family. But eventually, when you fall and then you're like, they said you were gonna fall, you eventually tend to come back again. And
The defensive phase when we don't listen.
the rebellious,
Yes.
Yeah.
That rebellious phase, then we go to our friends. So that is usually when the time.
and those friends are also in the same phase.
Yeah.
It's that time period of those 2-3 years when all your friends are against your parents, against their own parents, and they try to do anything and everything in their power to do exactly the opposite of what the
Parents tell you. I like the way you put it. And it is but natural, right? When somebody, now for example, you have a bowl full of chocolates and ice cream, and you have a bowl full of healthy vegetables or, some healthy food. Now, if I put in both the bowls there, what's the first thing that you get attracted to?
The parents say eat the vegetable. And
Yeah, but what is it that you get attracted to?
because the parents said, and another part is because the parents said don't eat this.
We tend to eat that.
Yeah. Even though you're getting attracted to it in the first place, because they said do not eat this. You go
So
to
that's how you think. Yeah, because, okay, why do you think parents have told? For example, you have those younger cousins or, neighbors or somebody where you see those small kids around you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried telling them something nice, something good, which they don't listen to you?
Of course.
Yeah? You get irritated then? Yeah?
Not even cousins or something. Even the fifth graders right now in school.
Right. And don't you, in fact, I remember you coming back and telling me sometimes, I told them this, Amma, but, they don't listen to me or something like that. Why do you tell them then? Because because you've been through that phase. Yes? So I think it's the same thing with parents also, with any elders. They've been there, and that's the reason they tell you. And this group of friends are also exploring like you. Everybody's getting attracted to that bowl full of chocolates and ice cream. So it's like, you know what? This bunch of people are telling us not to eat, but let's sneak out and eat this.
Yeah.
That's but natural.
That's a good
So because you love what they're telling you, because even you want the same thing that whatever that they're telling you. That's the reason they seem to be important. But as you also said in your question, eventually when you fall.
Yeah, everyone falls at different heights.
Correct. So in this example, maybe, you eat a junk and all of that, maybe you fall sick. Then you'll come back. Where do you come back? Do you go to your friends when you fall sick?
No, or it's like
Where do you go to?
your family.
Family.
That's what I was talking about. You eventually tend to come back because everybody eats different quantities of that same chocolate.
Right.
Because early on, someone might get a cough and they're like, I'm not getting sick. And you pakan beta.
Yes. That's excellent, the way you've actually said it. At different points, different people, the intensities matter, the quantity or, the tolerance levels matter, the exposure levels matter. So because of these things, yes, some might fall sick initially, some might fall sick midway, some might fall sick later on. But what is not right for you is not right for you.
Yeah. And
also, I liked how you said it. Somebody might say that, oh, you know what? I ate that. That's why I fell sick. So I will not eat again. But somebody else might say, you told me not to eat it. You told me I'll fall sick if I ate this. I fell sick only because you told me that.
and because you told me that, I'm gonna fall sick again and again and again.
Yes. Yes. And people who connect to those things tend to, be in that thought process that maybe, friends are our saviors. If I may ask, Have you ever had these thoughts that I want to get out of my house? I don't want to be in this house anymore. Oh my God, look at the smile. Have you ever felt that?
Initially, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
The entire COVID phase, yes.
Oh, because you were stuck at home. And then, see, I'll tell you what, that's the most natural way of growing up. It's a phase of growing up.
Yeah.
We all go through that.
And you,
I'm sure. Yes. I used to be like, how can I just run away from this place? I don't want this.
and in COVID as well, of course, Amma and Tata, they came to our house to stay, right?
Yeah.
Everyone
That was a blessing, Rishi.
I know it was,
Mm.
but at the starting it was good. But then,
You're monitored. You're monitored. You're
online class, everyone used to keep come barging in.
so yeah, the space.
Then you
Yeah.
turn off your camera and your teacher is like, Rishi, turn on your camera again.
No. That was a serious issue because everyone will keep walking around us and
Yeah.
the teachers will be seeing that.
See, I understand that family can be tough at times, but they are in no way less than friends.
Yeah.
Family is tough because they know you in and out. There is no pretense. See, when you talk about friendship, when you step into a new school or, when you step into a new class somewhere where you have a new set of friends, tell me honestly, aren't you trying to put your best foot forward because you want to impress somebody?
Of course.
Because you want to get that pleasant feeling
The
where
first,
people like you.
the first impressions matter.
Yeah, the first impressions matter. So you're trying to put your best foot forward. So that means in that group, everybody's trying to put their best foot forward.
But
Everybody's trying to be nice. But what exactly and who exactly are you? That comes only eventually. And initially, we are looking at those images which people are trying to paint as much as you are painting yourself. So we look at that, and family doesn't have that need. They need not please you. Because on a lighter note, we all know that we are stuck with each other as a family. So maybe that's why you can be at your worst best.
at your worst best. Wow.
You are, right? Will you imagine going and shouting at your friends the way you guys shout at home?
Well, I do. That's the thing. That's why now friends are drifting.
That's a point. When eventually when we start
That's
showing up
because you're not trying to impress them now.
Yeah, but eventually you get sick of being who you are. not.
Pretending.
Yeah, you get sick of pretending. And
Eventually, yes.
at the beginning, even when I joined Indus, I knew I had to make people like me because I was still in 4th grade, and I knew I had to be good.
See, that's
But
called
again,
fitting in. You try to fit into a certain group.
yeah, but again, I'm like, I don't know how to pretend to be what people like.
Or what people expect.
Yeah, I don't know what people expect from me, but because I was 9. I don't know what people expect from me. That was a huge.
See, here you need to understand one thing. What people expect of you or don't expect of you, nobody comes and tells you that. It is again in your mind. You think that maybe they expect me to be in a certain way. You think maybe they expect me not to do certain things. So it's never about the other people. It's never about your friends. It's about the mental makeup that is happening here. Because there's so many factors there again. And if somebody fits right into that, you tend to get closer to them. Somebody who doesn't fit into that, even if they're right, we will not go there. So friendships, or when you say friends drift apart, who knows, maybe you're drifting apart. Maybe it's not your friends who are drifting apart. Maybe you're getting more mature, or maybe, your understanding, maybe your need to pretend is now vanishing.
Did you face that?
I guess.
In what way did you face it? Like,
Then get at a point of time when people don't like stop pretending or stop trying to like fit into everything, that all the group starts making decisions on their own, then everyone start drifting apart and they start making their own choices.
again, that's another thing. Choices.
Wow.
Choices probably matter the most because
They do.
the there are choices. The word choice is only there because there's the good and the bad.
See, it's not about good and bad because there are different things.
Yeah, and there are the good choices that you make because again different choices, but there is a certain level of good.
See, Rishi, I'll tell you something. Remember only one thing in life. There are choices. They become good and bad based on how the outcome comes out. Yes, in a way, there are choices which are not so resourceful. There are choices which help you. But again, see, at any point, you want the best for yourself, right? And you want the best for your people. So, based on your understanding levels, based on your maturity, based on your exposure, based on whatever you
Just who you are.
Yeah, for just who you are, you make the best choice at that given situation. Eventually, it might or might not work. But understand that nobody makes a choice to make a mistake.
But again, sometimes you do because
No, you're not making the choice to make a mistake. For example, if you feel that your friends are choosing something different, in their understanding, they're right.
In their perspective, it may not be a mistake.
Yeah, it's not wrong for them. Maybe you're looking at the world with a different lens. Everybody's perspectives are different, right? Everybody's understandings are different. Your lenses are different. So nobody's doing something because they're not thinking that, Rishi, you know what? I want to hurt you, so I'm going to be like this. Bindhu, you know what? I do not want to listen to you. That's why I'm doing this. No.
then again there are people like that.
That's where comes the toxic friend.
Yeah, that is toxicity.
Yeah, maybe.
Eventually, when you paint a picture of yourself, and then you show that version of you to someone new, they like that person.
I'll tell you something, Rishi. When you paint a picture and when you show yourself in a certain way, please understand that as much as you have your senses, as much as you see what you want to see, everybody also has a right to do that. Maybe you're trying to project something of yourself, but maybe your friends are seeing right through it. It's not necessary that every time you're right? Maybe you're in a certain phase where you want them to like you. Maybe you want to please them. But what if they are looking right through you, where they understand that you're not being authentic to yourself?
Again, there's that. But there's also a point where people don't understand. Where people are like, yes, this is that person that they're showing to me, so I will be friends with them. But that person, a lie is a lie. At some point, it will come out, their true nature, their true colors. But that will be like, they're being fake, right? Because it can be like...
Who's being authentic, Rishi? Because you're at a certain age where all of you are exploring. Everybody's exploring. All your friends are also exploring.
So you're saying that the authenticity hasn't built yet?
No, there is authenticity, but you're trying to move away from that because you're trying to explore so many more things. So you do not know what your authentic self is. Because as it is, you're developing a personality at this age. What? You're 15 very soon? And you'll be what? 17, 18? 18. So you are at a stage where you're becoming an individual now. You're slowly coming out of the shell that your parents have created, the shell that your family has created, you're slowly breaking open. You don't know how the weather is outside there. You're taught to be warm here. You're taught to be in a certain way here. But as you keep breaking the shell, there is some cold weather that's going to hit you. There is some other condition or, some other situation which might come. So till now, maybe you had maybe you were you were protected in a way where you knew that your family is there to make a decision for you, or you can go back to them. But now when you're stepping out into the world, there could be situations where you can't even reflect on what you're thinking. You might be in a situation where you have to take a call. And all your age group, all your friends are also in similar situations. And believe me, Rishi, not everybody's situations are the same. In a way, maybe you guys are privileged. You have the protection of your friends, your family, the larger spectrum as much. But there are people who are looking out for themselves. There are people who are looking out for survival sometimes. There are people who are looking out because they want to make more opportunities. Acceptance. That's a big thing. See, today you both are sitting here because you kept learning and learning and learning. Because you come from a family where your parents are open. They want to teach you things as they are. Even if you're hurt. How many arguments have we not had? How many times have we not actually sit down, through the 5 days that we spent and everything? There is so much more. I'm sure you're not the same Bindhu that I saw who walked in here a few days ago. Right? And for you to change that perspective, there is a certain change that is happening within, where you see it with a little more broader perspective, with a little more clarity. Now, how many of them have that opportunity? How many of them are open to change? How many of them are willing to learn? The family situations are different. The circle that they move around is different. The acceptance levels are different. The acknowledgement levels are different. So there's so many things, right? So I think you are at a phase where rather than thinking that, what, my friends are like this, like that, please understand that all of you are in a flow of life where each person is growing differently. So you need not pass judgments. If you are really understanding, appreciate the fact that you have chosen to grow like this and somebody else is still trying to figure out a way. That's it. Now, when you talk about acceptance, when you talk about acknowledgement, are you still looking for their acceptance? Their acknowledgement? Is that why you're hurt? Because you're not getting it?
It's not about their, it is about their acceptance, but it's the fact that they're not accepting, they accepted you when you showed a side of yourself, but they're not accepting who you actually are.
Rishi, people connect to something that they know. People connect to something that they like. So this shift within you that has happened, maybe it doesn't sit right with them. Maybe it doesn't, they don't know it. How will you appreciate something when you don't know the existence of it?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So when they don't know something, how will they appreciate it? How will they value it? Now, that doesn't mean that you devalue yourself or you underplay yourself only to fit in. If you do that, that's again injustice to your own self, to your own growth. I think only thing that you can do is understand that everybody is walking their own path. As much as you feel you're right, as much as you feel you're growing, they might feel that, oh, Rishi was like this before. He's not like that now. Maybe Rishi has changed. Of course, Rishi has changed. Now, did he change or did he grow? And when you grow before time, that group that you've been with, obviously you're going to be the odd man out, right? Now you're again stepping into another new zone. You're moving out of the country. So you are going out into a larger spectrum. Again, you have to start from ground zero.
But this time you know what the level up was so that you can start properly from the ground.
Correct. But what do you know of the people that you're going to meet? You don't know at what level they are. So stop having your own preconceived notions. Stop defining that things have to be like this or people need to be like this. No. And again, maturity doesn't come with age. So don't expect because, people are elder or people have grown up, they need to understand. It's a choice. I like the word that you said. It's a choice. So don't get stuck up on something. When you understand something, good. You can calibrate yourself and move on. When you don't understand something, understand the existence of something which you don't know yet. And when you create that space, you're creating that space for yourself also. Don't get bogged down.
Now again, an older figure is telling us not to do something.
And now if you really want to go out and get bogged down, welcome, be my guest. It's up to you. But again, I presume that right now, you are one level up. And when somebody says, don't do this, please understand why they're asking you not to do it. Stop doing things only to negate your elders. That's only damage right waiting there to happen.
I mean, we're not doing it saying, I'm going to negate what you just said. It just tends to happen.
It's attractive, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, they're telling me not to do it, so I need to go and see it. You know what? I've been the best example of that.
Yeah.
I've been exactly See, I'll tell you what. The reason why I did when people told me not to do and everything is because I never had an answer.
No one told you.
I never had an answer. When I asked why I should not do that, there was no answer given to me. So I wanted to find an answer. But when you have me, when I'm trying to explain to
Even when you tell me not to do something, I ask you why, you just say don't do it. I don't get an answer.
Yeah. What?
I don't get an answer.
That's
Most
because
of-
you're not ready to listen to an answer because your emotions are at such a high. You know how the way you just go and bang your doors and everything also. But exactly after 5 minutes, you come back.
Because I've thought about it.
Exactly. So wisdom or understanding is not after 5 minutes, Rishi. To a larger extent, at your age, that's a wonderful gesture. At least you're taking that 5 to 15 minutes to realize and to come back. But that 5 to 15 minutes is different for different people. For some people, it might run into years.
Yeah.
Be blessed, appreciate yourself that, you've cut down that learning time. But what means growing up is being able to make that choice in the moment, not after you've thrown out your emotions, not after you've gone and banged doors and then coming back. That's still okay because you're still growing up.
Anchors.
Yeah, that's it. This fellow has a big habit, you know what? Forget about banging doors. He just goes bang the door first and he starts banging into the wall.
Showing his anger out.
Okay, that's another.
And right after 10 minutes, you won't believe, right after 10 minutes, he comes back, he comes searching where I am. But those 10 minutes, Bindhu, he goes cranky. I mean, I'm sure everybody does. What's your time? 5 minutes, 10 minutes or?
Or half an hour.
Yeah. No, it's really good that, you're able to rebound, you're able to come back in that, that stipulated time.
Okay. I'm coming back to friendship. Because friends have drifted. You remember before I used to take half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I didn't used to come back for a day at least. And then I did. Now I come back in 5 minutes because I have no one else to share it with except for you.
Oh, because there are no friends. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. So that means you used to go and complain to your friends.
Of course.
It's a realization.
Of course. Because now I'm like, I need to get this out somewhere. And I come back to the person who scolded me.
Scolded you.
To the person who was frustrated with me.
That's true.
Why does that happen? Because you tend
I'll
to
tell you what,
share everything.
when you're upset, all that we're looking for is for validation.
Understanding.
Validation where somebody comes and tells you, I resonate with your pain. I understand your pain. Yes, you're right. Oh, yes, your mom should not have said that. Or, your mom should not have stopped you from doing that.
And those kinds of friends who say you are right are the worst kinds of friends ever, because most of the time you're completely wrong. And it's because they're also completely wrong that they tell you that you're right.
Correct?
See,
But that's
if they say that you are wrong, then you immediately drift away from them. So they
Yeah.
don't say that.
And everybody kept, when I knew that something was right, everybody kept saying, this is not how it's supposed to be. Another thing, don't tell your parents what you're doing.
that's a mantra that your friends
Don't tell your parents anything. And now I'm at a point where you literally know me. You literally know every single point of my life.
has that.
It's freedom.
Right?
It's freedom.
Yes, it's freedom.
Because I don't have to hide anything from you. In fact, anything that happens, something small or big, I have on my mind, first person I come to is you. But before, I didn't tell you anything. I did not tell her anything.
And you know how much you suffered with that.
Because I had to.
See, that's what happens, right? When somebody feels that's the ultimate truth, or that's the right way of doing it, they tell you that. Now, as I'm telling you, your friends are also exploring. Nobody knows what's right. In fact, all the parents know, but the point is, how much are they connecting to the kids? That's a different subject altogether. So the point is, if you can come out with something where your parents understand you. See, I'll tell you what. All parents want is the happiness of their children. Is for them to be safe. Is for them to grow up well. That's the only thing all us, we parents will want. But the point is, when we know that you're making a mistake, it hurts us. It pains us to see you in pain. That's why we tend to be overprotective. That's because we don't want that difficulty to even touch you.
But unless
Sometimes, that prick is important. Maybe that prick is needed.
Unless that
Fall into the well, you don't know how deep it is. So
and
The
then
point is, we don't want you to fall in the well.
and it's not even a well, it's a ditch that you're digging for yourself.
I never
I like the way he said that.
It's a ditch that you're digging for yourself, and you know that you're going deeper and deeper and deeper. It's just harder to get out. But once you get out, you're like, finally, I'm out. But like, there's another ditch right here, and you fall under it again.
Life is that. Life is that. So the best thing that you can do is please be transparent to your family. Figure out, is it your mom? Is it your father? Is that your siblings? Your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, somebody in your family. I'm telling you, it's very, very important. Because family is the only constant thing that's going to be there in your life. As much as you want to run away from family, as much as there is so much drama around it, or, anything that you think of, that's authentic. That's true. At the end of the day, when we are humans, we are emotional beings. We have drama. Don't run away from that.
Again, drama with friends.
That's
Because
a drama of the next level.
I know you have gone through. Tell that.
It's like I was about to say something else. I wanted to say, if the moment when you convey something to your parents and start being transparent, the restrictions increase.
Yeah.
That is something which
That's
I
another
agree parents need to understand
That's another topic.
to an extent, I will agree with that, because as much as you tell me, do restrictions increase for you?
They decrease, but like they decrease a lot. So
See, for me, if he tells me that something like this, I want it or something, I tend to think from his perspective and I give him more choices in that. Is that?
yeah,
So at least I know for a fact that it's happening right in front of me.
and you instead of it's happening and something bad is happening, it's better to just make it happen through her eyes, like if she can see it.
So when I know for a fact that he's not looking for validation from outside, I think he's safe enough. Is that what's happening? Or
Yes.
it looks as if I'm forcing him to say yes.
Hello. Yes, and that is what happens. And before you said drama.
Yes, coming back to the topic of drama, friendships.
Drama with friendships is one of the greatest entertainments you'll have in life. Because once, when you're in the drama, it's the worst thing that can ever happen to you. And once you rise above it, and then you're like, oh, this was all completely unnecessary.
It was so silly and foolish for us to do that. And
But when other people are still going through it, that's the greatest entertainment you can ever have.
Absolutely. See, I'll tell you something. When you go sit and watch a movie, maybe in the theater, if you feel you are inside the movie, suppose you are inside the movie and you are a part of the chaos.
If you were in the end battle of Avengers Endgame, you would be scared and you would not know what's going on. But watching it on the big screen was like, wow.
See, that's what awareness does to you, right? When you become more aware, when you become more accommodative, and when you become more understanding, what happens is you can identify drama.
And you can quantify if it is drama or not, if it is actually a real issue.
And I'm sure, as much as he said, when you realize that there's a drama going on there and you're not a part of it,
you silently just said, watch and wait for him to call.
My God, I think that's what has happened to him in school.
Because when I went through stuff and I got out of it pretty soon. And I saw people, my closest friends, jumping into the same ditch that I dug for myself. But they're like, oh, you're digging that ditch, let me do it too. and they start digging it again. And they are going deeper and deeper. I'm like, I have ropes, I can pull you out. You're choosing not.
So, what are you being there? You're being a parent to them.
I know, that's
exactly what our
issue.
parents are doing.
That was my issue. And I can't see them go through the same thing I did. I was being a parent. I was helicoptering them a lot. That is why I don't have friends right now. I realize that now when it's too late. I'm like, I have a rope. I have a really, really long rope. I can pull you out of there. You're like 40 meters deep already. I can pull you out of there. They're like, no, I'll keep digging. You do whatever you want.
So, when your awareness is increased and when you see that people are going through that and you really want to help them genuinely, did you want to take your parents' help when you were in that ditch? No. So, how are you expecting your friends to understand you, in that particular thing? And what happens is when you're trying to help and when they don't understand in everything, they will start cooking up stories. Didn't you cook up stories to keep your friends, to keep your parents out of things?
No.
When you were going through something and your parents were there to protect you, did you have stories to go and tell your other friends? You know what, my mom is doing this, my father is doing this, they're not understanding me and all of that.
I can't relate to that, can you?
Isn't exactly the same thing happening when you are trying to be protective of your friends and they feel that that you are entering their space?
And then they go tell the other friends. Okay, but when it comes to parents, the kids have never seen them struggle. Like when you are saying the parents have also gone through that, the kids never saw that. Your friends saw you go through it.
But how many of them are aware to understand that, Rishi?
But they've seen how much it hurt.
But they've not gone, you just said, right? You have not gone through that pain.
Yeah.
Okay, you've not seen your parents go through. You've seen others go through. You've watched movies around it. There's so many.
That's a big issue.
Yeah, there's so many things. But you wait to get into that ditch. See, this is a part of growing up. There's no point in denying the fact that this is happening. It will happen. It should happen. The earlier, the better. The deeper, the better. As long as you have the strength to get
climb back, to climb up.
But what happens is, not everybody is that emotionally resilient. Not everybody has that open culture, maybe in the family, in the society, or in the structure that they are in. And that is where people lose themselves. If that can be avoided, that's the best learning that can happen.
Yeah.
And I see something like a fear of missing out in a lot of teenagers, your social media that is... See, please understand, whatever you see on social media is something that they want to show you.
That's the fake.
As much as you guys are talking about being in the ditch, going through all these phases and everything, do you post all of that on your Instagram or Facebook or anything?
Some people do that.
They show their pain, that
Maybe at least
crying.
maybe at least they're being authentic.
No, it's that they cry, and there's a video of them crying, and there's a meme that's created saying, "Oh my God, she's taking a video of herself crying."
And
They do that?
Yeah, I saw so many reels like that.
They do that?
Yes.
Maybe it's going still worse. But the point is, people show the happier side. Now, all the influences that you see, so many things that are going on, they are not putting out their authentic life there. Please understand. They put out something which people will like. They put out something which people want to see.
Something which gives them validation.
That's it. As long as you understand that, you will not fall into that trap. But seeing that, I see so many people getting into that FOMO or, getting into that, oh, I also want to be... Doesn't work.
Okay, when it's about influences, and when they're showing their side of, I don't know, richness, and they're showing the side of funniness, the humor, I have seen people in real life, they try to mirror that, and it backfires very badly for me, but it doesn't for the circle over there. I'm like, I know what you're doing. I have seen this. I know exactly what you're trying to do. I know exactly where you're coming from.
That's called being aware, Rishi.
But hey, other people in that circle, they're cheering him. They are,
That's society at large. This is going to be there throughout your life, I'm telling you. As much as you are aware and as much as you grow up before your age or, you understand things. See, it's easier. You know why people have opinions? Because it's easy to have an opinion than to think. It's easier to buy into somebody's opinion than to actually put your brain to work. And the life is as such. People are as such. Now, through this, how much you'll protect your authenticity, how much you'll protect your best interests, even if it means that you stand apart, you stand alone. And only a person who's not looking for validation, who's not looking for an acknowledgement from outside, please connect to your families and get that validation from your families. Get that validation from your parents, from your close circle. Only then you will be able to differentiate the reality and the bullshit outside.
And also because family is the only thing that isn't judgmental.
Yes. Family will scold you. Family will be harsh with you.
It's because
they're not pretending to you. And you need to exactly hear that.
I think it's because...
See, friends are very important. But understand that through phases, friends change. And if you really can hold on to somebody who can walk through the light with you, lucky you. Be happy. But don't crave for it. If it happens, well, fine and good. But don't crave for it. And if it doesn't happen, don't crib about it.
When you're saying awareness, I think the awareness is the one thing that matters the most, maybe.
That's it.
Because
That's the only thing.
you're at one point and you've seen stuff. They are at another point, they have not seen anything. But there are people who have seen the bad stuff, the bad things, and they are aware themselves, because even though they didn't go through it, they know the implications that it will have. How does that happen? Because they haven't gone through
I'll
it
tell you
themselves.
something. It depends on the level of understanding. Because for some people, if something is happening around them, they see and learn. Some people hear about something and something hits them. Oh, okay, this is right, this is not right. But there are some people, how much ever caution somebody else tells them, they need to go there, fall, and then come out. Now, wisdom is about understanding when something comes into your knowledge itself. Don't wait to fall. Every time you might not have the strength to stand up. You need not negate everything when somebody says that this is right, this is wrong. Give it a thought.
But when someone is saying something is wrong, is right, something wrong is right, and you know for a fact it's not, it's the furthest thing from right.
See, give it time. Don't expect your entire life to be, finished in one day. It's not going to do. It's not going to happen that way.
I made that mistake.
Yeah. Stop being in a hurry to grow up. Don't hurry up. There is a certain timeline for everything. Live today as it is. Make sense? Enough for today?
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much.
It was lovely exploring this. Thank you.
Also.